after about 10 seconds or so.
Give it a little time to warm up.
Yeah,
Someone's with a crank.
Once you see the eye in the sky, okay, I think we're pretty good now. Okay, welcome everybody. And it's Sunday night, August 23rd. It is the third week of Big Brother 22 All-Stars. And here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting, we're covering the whole season. I'm Dave Mader, joined with Jaemeel Robinson. How you doing tonight?
I'm all right. I'm looking for adoption to become Jaemeel Mader. So
yeah, Jaemeel, yeah.
Continue the Mader Brothers tradition.
Yeah. Hey, Jaemeel Mader, how are you doing tonight? Yeah,
I'm okay, brother. How you doing?
Yeah, exactly. Jeff Mader off tonight. He had a long day, so we're continuing here. We are starting a little later. I had a function earlier. I was at a dinner party. Ooh. So hey,
did you dress up?
I wore this. I wore the camo shirt. So yeah, I think I kind of did.
Oh, that's okay. That's
okay. It's something. I don't know. Like I thought it was, it was like a family barbecue more thing. It was kind of like a pizza oven affair. So it was good. It was
any time with family and joining together, having a little time, especially in times like this, it's well worth it. Do that for your mental health. Right on.
Waterdown. I was in Waterdown.
Ooh, Waterdown.
Yeah, sounds nice.
I know some people in Waterdown. It's good people.
Waterdown. Well, hey, shout out Waterdown. You're famous here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting as we're covering tonight's nominations. And Tyler's HOH, as we kind of said last time, went pretty predictably, Jaemeel, with Janelle and Kaser going on the block. This was kind of their swan song this episode. It was sort of setting the tone for what this week is likely going to be, which is sort of the the persecution of them. Likely one of them going this week was and sort of where the chips will fall after that is sort of the next sort of logical step in this conversation. But we'll get into this whole episode. And Tyler as a player, he's very good. But man, I don't know. He's frustrating. He's a big manipulator. Kaser was kind of falling for it, but Janelle was not tonight. I thought Janelle was reading him pretty well and wasn't kind of like being affected by sort of like these like buttons that he tries to push on people.
Yeah. Oh man. HOHs like this are just so brutal. Like, because it seems like everything is more or less kind of locked up and it can look for a very, very boring week. I'm just hoping that something happens. Like this is the third week and it's been not all-star worthy in my opinion. We'll see. Like Tyler has his like thoughts pretty straight, and he has things lined up. It just seems like it's going to be a very boring week, really.
Well, I think he's playing this well. I think he's doing probably what he should be doing, but just in terms of the entertainment value of the show, I'd say it's down just because of this, because this alliance of 6, which was not mentioned really specifically tonight very much. So I don't know how real it is anymore, but what we are understanding
which group of 6? Because
I thought it was Cody, Memphis, Tyler, the 3 first HOHs, plus Christmas, plus Danny and Nicole Frenzel.
That isn't that the commission?
I thought that was the alliance of 6.
Yeah, there's the commission, and then there's the Slick 6.
The Slick 6,
which is Tyler, Bay, Day, Enzo, and Danny. I think
and Cody.
And Cody, which is basically an alliance to keep Enzo, Day, and Bay in check. Really.
Yes.
That's what I feel.
It was I don't know, like Cody said that alliance wasn't really real to him, that he doesn't really, it's kind of like, whatever, I'm sort of making peace with these people, but I'll cut their throat if I have to. It doesn't really matter. That's not who his true loyalties to, which is Nicole Frenzel, evidently.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't really know. Like, what do you say? But Cody is a player. Like, I don't even know how you analyze Cody as a player. And
like, they're playing, like, he's playing well. It's just really unfortunate for us in terms of like our enjoyment level, because it's literally like he has his bases covered. Like if Bay or Day do anything, like they're gonna mention as part of the Slick Six, and he's gonna run back to the commission, and the commission is gonna be able to handle it. Like the other side of the
Mhm.
house doesn't have enough people in place to do anything, and like Danny already has Tyler well in check already. So like Bay and Day, having conversations with Janelle and Kaser, like already has Tyler on already has Davon on Tyler's radar already. So like they already have, like, things are in so well in check that we can really see pagonging, of the other side.
Well, I think so because Cody's in both alliances, so yeah, that he knows instantly if there's an insurgency right against their alliance. He's sort of a spy. He's the slickest member of the Slick Six, right? They should have known when they named it.
Yeah.
And Danny's also a member of both alliances, so she can, because it's not really a real alliance, but. Then it's like Janelle and Kaser are the true rebellion, but nobody will join with them because they've just been labeled pariahs, and
Yeah.
players like Davon and Bailey are like, well, better them than me. I'd rather they go before me, and then maybe somehow. And Ian's like another example of this. I think he's David for whatever alliance he's in. I don't know exactly what alliance. I know he's with Tyler, but I don't really know what alliance
He's in
David's
Tyler's pocket, not necessarily with Tyler, because I don't see any type of reference of them like doing any business or anything, or any type of alliance. Like Franzel has Ian in their pocket. Kevin is just, I don't know, he's bitter towards Janelle and them for campaigning against him in the first HOH. It's like
Mm-hmm.
at a certain point, like Kevin should know, like, really? Sorry.
Okay.
Kevin should know he is not on the right side of the house, right? And then he should be looking, obviously, who is. And people for some reason think that Janelle is running things, but yet Janelle's on the block. So how exactly is she running things but yet on the block? Like I don't know what's going through people's minds. Like at a certain point you got to realize, okay, I might not like these people currently or like what they did, but they're not on the other side, which I'm competing against. So therefore, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right?
Right.
And they should be teaming up, right? Uh, but like Ian's just trying to lay low until like jury, it seems, so that he isn't a target. But he's just a shield, and shields get taken care of. They will get taken care of eventually, because the commission has enough like top names that they're going to be fine once they get to a certain point where there's literally not enough votes to go against them.
Yeah, like I think in the case of Kevin, it's a trend we've been seeing over, especially since I've been watching Big Brother, especially in the last couple of seasons, is this effect of, oh, I don't want to be associated with them because if I'm associated with them, I'm an automatic target. Just like they've ostracized Janelle and Kaysar. That's been the new kind of thing. Is that whoever is sort of the new target in a lot of cases, especially the most recent seasons, has been like, well, don't talk to them, they're bad. And then even they'll start saying things behind closed doors. They'll start making up things just to almost justify how much anger and frustration they are directing at this person, which is completely irrational. It's based on their guilt. They can't handle the fact that they are treating another person like this, so they have to justify it in their mind because they're obviously what they want to win the game, and this is how they think that they're going to be able to do it, or at least
The
get
Vanessa
closer.
Russo tactics of
It's
like,
Vanessa
I have
Russo tactics. It's been very Vanessa Russo was sort of the innovator of this, or she sort of like turned that key in if it wasn't already,
yeah.
and found a way of creating that. And then later you saw like Paul Abrahamian, I think that's how you say it, right? The second time when he played with Christmas, like
Mhm.
that was very much like how he ran things. He was very much like, no, I am the leader and you will follow me. And that person is going this week, and nobody, that is bad. That person is now out.
So you had the buddy system from Rob, from Survivor. Then you have the guilt system from Vanessa to make any move that you make justifiable because the other person is bad and has given you a reason, even if it's fraudulent, to vote them out or put them on the block. And then you had Paul, who kind of melded the two. And that's kind of giving Paul a little bit too much credit. It's kind of just the evolution of how things ended up in Big Brother. But just like a perfect storm of things coming together. And you just keep seeing it like a strong part of the house, and the other side is positioned or detailed as being bad, regardless of if they are or not. And they just kind of use that to just railroad or justify their actions. And we're seeing it this year with, well, Janelle was trying to keep Keisha. Well, it's like you can understand why. It's not like they were saying anything bad about Kevin, right? But the way they talk about them in close quarters is like, well, they were trying to get you out. No, they were trying to keep Keisha. And then you had last week, and it's like, oh, you were trying to keep Nicole. And it's like, or trying to, well, they weren't even really trying to keep Nicole. They were trying to make sure that they were having numbers to kind of go against the other side of the house, right? And this
Yeah.
is where we are. This is where we are again, where they're gonna vote out either Janelle or Kaser, and regardless of who wins the veto, and they're gonna say, this is the other side of the house. They're bad because they were talking bad about Nicole, or they were saying bad stuff about Tyler, telling the truth about Tyler, right? But they're bad and they need to go.
Right. Well, everyone just piles on that reason, right? Like because like it's whatever reason you want it to be. It's like, hey, did you hear about so and so? Like in this case, Janelle and Kaser, that they were plotting against Kevin, and like they've always been sketchy. That's the new word. That's the word they often use.
Yeah,
It's kind of this ambiguous word that really doesn't have any meaning. But they'll say so and so sketchy. They're acting sketchy, or I don't know what it means, but it's a way of saying like that person's bad, or don't trust that person. And eventually that sort of groupthink idea gets around the house, like other than the people who are sort of targeted, of course.
It's
And
just
then
it's irrational thinking. It's like, why did ends like why is Day wanting to have the safety suite of punishment? And well, she gave you a reason, and then Danny did a great job in terms of manipulating things, saying, "Oh, they were talking with Janelle and Kaser, and that's how they're kind of she's trying to position herself so she has safety." um I think she doesn't trust you, Tyler. And it's like, oh, she's sketch. She's talking to everyone about getting the punishment. She really wants the safety. When in actuality, it's a combination of both. One, safety is always good. Everyone wants safety. But seemingly, as per the DRs, and I don't think she's necessarily lying to us, she wanted the punishment because she never had it before, right? But once again, anytime you do something that goes against the house or seems like it can be manipulated or talked about, it's sketch, right? Jeff not showing up tonight, that's sketch. It's like,
right.
no, Jeff had a reason.
Kaser has the emotions of a Vulcan.
I assume that's Jeff, right?
It's commenting as us, and he's the only other one with mid privileges. So I'd imagine that's Jeff. Yes.
Yes. He has, which is kind of good and bad because you want someone rational to kind of come into conversations, but at the same time, um, people like I don't trust him because he doesn't have emotions in this situation. It can play both ways. Like to me, honestly, I wouldn't want to work with Nicole F because she seems to be only emotions and ones that usually are built to manipulate people.
Yeah, manipulate in her favor. Like that's her game, and she does it to her credit pretty well. She knows how to get sort of what she wants. And in the case of Kaser, yeah, like I thought it just watching Kaser and Janelle tonight, how they were handling this whole situation, that she was the way more savvy of the two, that she's way more willing to do what it takes to sort of pick up the pieces when this is over, assuming that she can survive this, like assuming it's Kaser that goes instead of her, she's able to make that happen. Yeah, like I think that Kaser seemed a bit out of it. Like I thought in terms of how he in particular reacted with Tyler tonight in their conversation, I didn't think that was great for Kesar. I thought he seemed weak there. It's also that they also both look pretty weak and foolish in the fact that they both think that Memphis is still with them. I don't quite understand why they still carry this idea with them. Memphis is definitely not with them.
Yeah,
Maybe
obviously.
Memphis likes to keep them going as an option, and I guess he's been effective at that. If that's the case, his conversations with them are somewhat reassuring.
Well,
Even to
at the
Janelle, who seems like a good read of people.
yeah, obviously, thankfully, after the safety suite competition, Janelle kind of wisened up and understands that, you know what, he's not with us. It's plain to see. He was a little bit too cute with that competition there. Like you could totally understand. He could totally understand why Nicole would have trouble with that safety suite. And like everyone talks, so everyone knows what the safety suite was after the first person went through it. So for Memphis, a person like Memphis to do that poorly, that just does not make any sense whatsoever. And Enzo getting that amount, like Meow Meow ain't dominating competitions really. So,
but he has no idea what to do with the power. He used it on Christmas tonight.
Jesus.
Right? So, like, even though I like Enzo, I can't really root for him because he's terrible, and he has no idea what's going on. He just kind of does. Did Cody tell him to use it on Christmas? I don't understand.
At this point, I think my choices are like for them to get to the end, they're going to slip on a banana peel and just slide all the way to the end. That's the only way they're going to win. I made horrible choices in terms of my draft choices this year for Big Brother All Stars.
Oh, your draft choices. Okay, I already lost Nicole Anthony on Thursday. And now Davon, who we haven't really talked about, but she was, of course, Davon is also always a lot or quite a bit in these episodes. She has quite a bit of a place. Jeff saying just that the Meow Meow is a cat chasing a mouse. Well, he kind of is. I think that's a good analogy. He is kind of like a little cat.
But the mouse is on a string, and Cody and Tyler are the ones that are just moving it around. And he's like, "Oh, almost got it."
Yeah, Enzo's like this guy who's trying to like be cool with the younger guys or something. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it's not working. No. And it's not working in Enzo's favor. It's making him safe for now, so great. But he clearly isn't savvy enough to know what to do with once he gets there. Like, and the same with Memphis. He doesn't seem to know what's going on. And Davon, who I want to cheer for. My heart wants to cheer for Davon, but my mind says, Davon, you're a terrible player. All-Star is the biggest exaggeration ever in terms of just big brother player, not personality. I think she brings a lot of energy and personality.
How is Bailey playing so much better than her?
Bailey's barely on the show though. Mary here saying they had it planned to use it on Christmas. Don't know why. I think it was to see Day's face and how she reacted, and I guess that we saw that in the confessionals tonight. Yeah. That it was very much about. Can we trust Davon? And Davon, is clearly easy to manipulate. Like they have her thinking she's in this alliance of Slick Six, right? She thinks that that's safe. That's a thing now, and that she doesn't have to worry about others. And her reputation is that she's perceptive, but we're not seeing that tonight. We're seeing that she is really aloof to to Tyler. Is Tyler in the Slick Six? Right? No, right?
Tyler's in the Slick Six.
Oh, he's in the Slick Six.
Yeah. Who? Tyler, Bay, Enzo, Cody, Day, Danny, Slick Six.
No. Okay. Oh, yes, right.
You're talking about the commission?
Yeah. Who's in the commission that's not in the Slick Six?
You have Nicole F and Christmas and Memphis.
All right. Okay.
Yep.
Well, even if the commission's even a thing anymore, I'm not sure it is because they're not referring to it.
I still think it's a thing minus. Like, remember Cody's original group. Cody's original group was the commission minus Memphis and putting in Enzo.
Right.
So, yeah, Tyler is
aloof to Danny.
Danny is like, oh my gosh, she is totally running Tyler, and but like, it's like people on top of people like running things. Like when eventually it's time to get rid of Davon, which eventually will be once they kind of secure. Bailey, which they probably will be working on doing so. All they got to do is say something to to Bailey for her to blow up, and then they just point the fingers at her. It's like, we can't have that in the house. She's put on the block. They already Bailey is going to try to secure her herself so that she can continue on, and Devon will be out the door. Right, the seeds are already put in place. You see how she looks, and everyone's kind of like pointing it out, right? And then same thing with Nicole, right? Nicole F. When it's time for
Yeah.
Devon to come, right? They're gonna tell Nicole F. is like, you see how she's talking and smiling with you when she's talking about Janelle, but then she's turning around and talking to Janelle at the same time and trying to make an alliance. You can't trust Devon. All the seeds are going to be set up for them to just be knocked down. It's like it's evidence, plain to see. That's why it's so annoying. You're seeing this slow moving train wreck, and like the other side of the house, Bay, Day, even Ian, even Kevin, Janelle, Kesar, they're just standing on the tracks, and the train is slowly coming toward them and just nicking them off.
Yeah, these guys are just happy that they're going to get hit. That like Janelle and Case are getting hit by the train first. That's all they're pleased with, and that they're hoping that the train is suddenly going to go upwards into the sky and not hit them, or expect the unexpected, I guess. But
Expect the unexpected. I don't think there's going to be any type of super secret power that's going to come and save people. It's not coming. I could understand a buyback for jury, but once they hit jury, like there's not going to be enough people in place to kind of flip the house, right? Because it's all going to be like, when that jury hits, it's going to be like, I wouldn't be survived. It's Bailey, David, and Kevin, right? That are going to be on that like jury pedestal, or like Christmas, Bay, and Enzo.
yeah,
And they're not coming back in the house and flipping any side. They're not going to be like, hey, Danny, you should come with us so we can get rid of Cody and Tyler. No, they're not. No.
right. Like in the case of the commission, which I think minus maybe Memphis is still an active alliance.
Yeah.
Is I think that they're kind of running this game. I keep wondering, when will one of them turn on each other? Like, obviously Memphis is probably their first one that they're going to throw to the wolves.
Oh, yeah.
Once they sort of get some other target, like I don't think that they could have gone up against Memphis this week instead of Kesar and Janelle. That would just make Tyler look foolish.
Yeah.
But or weak. But so he won't do that. But eventually they are going to get rid of Memphis. But after that, who will Tyler go after Cody? Vice versa. How who knows?
No, Nicole F is going to be gone.
And Janelle was the best for calling Nicole F to discuss.
I didn't get enough of that. I wanted more. I wanted Nicole to be dragged right then and there, right? And kind of just having a drive-by call out, and seeing like Nicole F's kind of smirking face. Man, I wish we had a Willie Hance, a female Willie Hance, just a headbutter.
Yeah, and we've been saying like Nicole F, like God bless her. She's something. Watching her in that competition tonight, here's Nicole, like, has to do this competition, can't stop complaining about it the entire time, right? Like the entire competition, just like, why do I have to do this? This is terrible.
The balls as big as me.
Like, can you just, why do we need more of this? Like, really? And like, we saw she had, I think, the worst time tonight, right?
Yeah, she did. Her time was 15:36, I believe.
Right. And the next closest was Memphis, who sat in the room for minutes.
14:33.
Right. So that was the next closest.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's so. I get it. Like, I'm not good at certain things either, and but
you're telling me Danny, who's how many years her senior, was able to like 9 minutes faster? That's ridiculous. And no amount of like throwing, like it didn't look like she was throwing. It didn't look like it. You just suck.
Well, if Nicole doesn't win a competition for eventually, I think that the alliance might turn on her next and say, well, she's a winner. what has she done for us? She hasn't won anything. She just kind of comes along. So I could see her being an early target if she doesn't find a way to stand out. However, on the other side, if she does win HOH or even a veto, she could really just amplify her target then too. So I think that Nicole, they're going to come for Nicole eventually.
Well, you got to keep Nicole. As long as Janelle's in the game, you keep Nicole. Right. Because look, let's say if they vote out Kesar, right? If
over Janelle, is that likely though? Like, why would you get rid of Kesar first?
What if Kesar wins veto? Right? Or you make
what
deal.
Does he do? He has no allies left. He has nobody.
What, Kesar?
Yeah. He thinks he has Memphis, but he doesn't.
That's a good question.
Or does Memphis just get, like, once Janelle's gone, do they just say, okay, at Memphis, we don't like you anyway, and so he becomes Kesar's new best friend anyway?
David has his goon squad, which is David and Kesar. Just
the goon squad. What is the goon
his
squad?
Putty patrol. His putty patrol. He just throws at other people. It's like attack. Because if like she's the Nicole who sucks. Yes.
Yeah. Franzel.
Yes, yeah. Franzel. People were saying we shouldn't be calling her Nicole. We should be calling her the Nicole who sucks or Franzel. Don't give her the satisfaction of being the only Nicole, because you already see they are signifying her as Nicole on the show. No,
she's now. There can be only one. She killed the other Nicole. She slew her in the great duel, and now there's only one Nicole, perhaps. So I will respect that we will refer to her as Nicole Franzel or Nicole F or Franzel or some variation. We will be
Nicole that sucks.
We will, in memory of Nicole Anthony, who deserves to be remembered as being on this season.
Yes.
So, and who went this past Thursday, and I will miss. But again, the other person I drafted didn't work out for me. I have not picked the winner so far. I'm just going to pick the person I don't want to win the most next time in a draft, and that's who will be my pick. We start hate picking.
I guess you kind of spoke about it with the one of our comments was talking about the Janelle blowback to Nicole F, Nicole who sucks, about the have not picking. So I can break down who chose who. So Christmas chose Davon.
The have not, yeah.
Yeah. Nicole,
the middle finger ceremony, I'd like to call it. We just went, they're like, hey, because sometimes it's like it's gracious, right? But sometimes it's like, hey, you deserve it this week, you know. Okay, David, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, David had Enzo. Enzo volunteered. Kesar had Cody because Cody volunteered. So only Bay and Janelle were chosen. And this is really good for the other side of the house, the powerhouse, because they have both Davon and Janelle in the have not room, and then you have Enzo and Cody kind of keeping tabs. Was David?
We got a question here. Was David's decision not to pick Memphis for have not
in a normal type of situation? No, it wouldn't have been, because then it's like, David is willing to, if someone crosses David doesn't necessarily hold a grudge and is willing to work with people. So if we do something to David, we put him up, or there were some votes thrown his way, we can still in the future work with him, right? Smart or foolish. In this one, he should have dragged Memphis. He should have, because I don't think there's enough people in the house who's pissed off at Memphis that you can get away with it, right? And so you might as well put your licks in. You don't want to seem like a pushover, especially in this season. You already have that conversation. The table's already been set about how Memphis treated you. You're like, one good turn deserves another. He should have already spoken to Tyler. If he got the okay from Tyler and Cody, why not? Fling him. Drag him.
Yeah, sure. Like I wish no one was allowed to volunteer.
Yeah. Yes, that would have been better. That's the whole point. That was the whole point. So that you create conflicts among the house guests.
It should be
Uh,
anonymous.
yeah, that would be great too. And then, everyone would like, who did that? It's like, no, I didn't choose you. I chose Janelle, right? Like, if you choose the same person, um, yes, she is.
Preston, is
Is
Christmas as
Christmas as
annoying as
annoying as she seems? She is. She is, and more. She is.
I don't
Um,
like her
I don't,
particularly. She's not on the show very much either, and when she is, it's just Christmas puns and stuff.
yes.
So and
Gosh.
jingles. Jingle
That's
bells.
what she like worked on. She didn't like work on her fitness or anything like that. She worked on her Christmas puns. That's it. My ideal state for the have not is you have to choose someone to be a have not. But if two people pick the same person, then those two persons continue being a have not.
Okay, interesting.
Right?
So the have-nots have to coordinate who they're going to pick,
or they don't choose the usual suspects.
Right. Yeah, I think if you do it anonymously, it's kind of fun because then you don't know who did it, or
Well, who did it. You just like you try to. There would always be that discussion as to who chose who. It's like, well, I know Tyler picked Janelle, and I know Nicole F picked Janelle too. So that's why they're continuing to be
right. But people try to do hinky votes all the time, and they're always able to figure that out. They're always able to figure out who was the one hinky vote, so they'll be able to figure out who did what and have not.
Like hinky votes, I don't think are going to be that much of a problem. Sorry, I apologize. Their laundry being done in the next room over.
Oh, okay. I don't hear.
So
I don't really hear anything.
I hear it, so I keep lowering my volume every single time someone like walks in. Yeah, hinky votes. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm also not a fan of people voting with the house as well. So I know that's contradictory, but I wish I could find some middle ground where people just literally like we're competing against each other as opposed to just bowing down to the HOH. But yeah,
it's a simple strategy that like a lot of these players, even like Cody is playing. It's a very safe strategy. It's sound, right? It's good theory and they're executing on it well. And how can they complain? It's working for them, right? At the moment, players like Ian, I think, can see through this, but are choosing to sort of go along with it. Maybe Memphis. I don't really know how sort of intuitive Memphis is or not. I can't quite get a read on him, but I feel like Ian does understand that he has sort of a connection with Nicole, but probably not the majority alliance. But Nicole F, the Nicole who's not Nicole Anthony, but I think other than that, Ian doesn't need to rock the boat too much. He doesn't got to go of his way to join up with Kesar and Janelle. He's not that kind of a player. He's not a join the rebels kind of a player. He's going to more just fall into the group that's doing better because he's a student of the game. He understands how to sort of keep himself out of the crosshairs.
Yeah, but
how are you going to win with that? I don't know. Like
we're running out of like runway to take off, and these people are putting in work. Like these folks are putting in work, and I just
unless Ian's able to go on like an incredible streak of competitions wins, which he says he is sort of saving himself for. We saw that in the early episode where he was like, well, I'm not going to try to win everything right away. I'm going to try to turn it on later on in the game. And that, I don't know, even if you like go on a great streak, you win an HOH and then you get somebody out and you win the veto the next week somehow and you save yourself and you win an HOH after that. After those 3 weeks, everybody, like, you will not probably win the next veto or HOH, and so you will go.
You'll get backdoored, and you'll
for sure, 100%. Because everyone will go like, that person has to go now. Their story's too good. They're too much of a threat. So everyone will vote for them. And these giant alliances need to stop. Well, if you want them to stop, I think you have to find a way to game them out. Like you have to sort of create some kind of a rule that would prevent them, or that would at least incentivize the players to consider other things or something,
Split up the house into 4 different sections and
right?
do what Survivor does.
Didn't they do
Uh,
that one year? Wasn't that Davon's first season? Where like we are big sister, and it was like Paul and Davon and a couple other players were
I think they've done it multiple seasons where they had like one side of like they broke, or am I mixing it up with like an Australian or UK season where they had like different sides of the house. So it was like split upon splits.
Australia. I think had something similar to that. I
Yeah.
believe. And in order like the only other way you can get around it is you have to be able to sort of see what the alliances are, but like, or at least how, because the big problem is that everybody who's not in the commission slash Slick Six, whatever the other alliances are called, they don't really understand that they're in trouble, that they should be working with Kaser and Janelle because it's in their interest to.
Yeah.
They have no idea. But I think that the other mental fatigue issue in the house is that after you see these 3 particular men win the 3 HOHs first, I think that just has a fatigue on the whole game. I think that sets a tone of like, we have to be aligned with these 3 people, or people who are good at competitions, which is everybody who's kind of in the commission, maybe save for Nicole Franzel, who I don't really know what she brings to the equation. I think that's why Cody is smart in a way to align with her, because she's a number for him. She's not probably going to beat him in his mind in the end, and he can probably beat her in any competition.
So, like, if you're Danny, you want Janelle to stay because you coaches, you're gonna another lady's gonna be gone. We'll be down 3 women. So far in terms of HOHs and vetoes, which we don't know the winner of the veto. We do kind of know, but what hasn't been shown yet. Um, as of the beginning of this week, all the vetoes, all the HOHs have been won by men, with only the safety suite once, once won by Christmas. So far, we haven't had a good track record in terms of the women doing well in competitions,
Right.
and so you're
How
kind
do
of
the
setting
players
yourself up.
respond to that? Is sort
Yeah,
of what my question is. I don't think that they can help themselves but not respond to that, because you have to say, oh well, these are the players who have all the power, right? Or these are the type of players that will have power.
yeah.
And so I don't think you look at Ian or Davon or certain players that are going to be like, well, I better make sure I'm in alliance with that person. Maybe Janelle kind of is that person, but Janelle is sort of this larger than life legend to them. Like, I think she's Xena warrior princess to them. They think that she's going to dominate.
But she has yet to win anything. Like,
I know, but they just look at her and they go, like, she's more scary to them than Christmas is, which is insane to me, but it's what they think.
yeah, it's like Janelle isn't going to compete on American Ninja Warrior. Christmas could.
Could, yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
So like, just like think of it that way, right? Nicole F ain't going to do that, right? So like, Janelle has won because she's very smart too, right? In terms of these competitions, but she won in a different era of Big Brother where the competitions were more mental than it is just like we have these physical tasks. It's just physical tasks, and which would be more in Christmas's wheelhouse as opposed to Janelle's.
Right. Yeah, and I'm sure that's true. Like, because I don't really know that era of Big Brother, but in the players' minds, I don't think that they care. I think that the legend is greater than the actual threat
Well,
in their mind.
what Tyler was saying, that old school sucks. It was a boring gameplay. Um, it surely was not. It was a lot more random,
Tyler,
and
he's blasphemy. He's going after the old school, saying that his new school is so much better.
yeah. Whereas, what was it? Someone put on Twitter talking to June, June saying, June did not, in a competition where it was like an endurance competition in a cage, um, pee on herself just so Tyler can say that old school is boring. Which featured the clip of June in the tight cage was like, "I gotta go," uh, and went ahead and pissed right there. She stooped down though and pissed right there, so that she can continue with the endurance competition. And one person quit because of that. Right? None of the
Right.
people in the house are going to be doing that at all. Right? Nicole F is not peeing herself so that she can win an endurance competition. Right?
No, no,
At
she
all.
would complain herself to death before that would
Oh
ever
my
happen.
gosh, guys.
Yeah, I
Why
can't
won't you just give up?
believe.
Just let me win
What?
this.
Why?
Why?
And
And
then
we
everyone
got a
just
little
gives
bit of
in.
Janelle mocking her, which was good.
They're like,
I
oh my
needed
god,
I,
just
I needed
stop
more.
whining, and we'll give you whatever you want. And the
Ugh.
story of Nicole.
Can Nicole
F.
F get eliminated so Janelle can do a goodbye message where she mocks her the entire time?
I think it's
That's what I
quite.
want to live for.
I think we're gonna get the opposite. I think we're gonna
Yeah.
get like. I think if, let's say it's Janelle who goes this week. I think that we'll likely get Nicole F giving a very probably mean spirited goodbye message. I would imagine that, but
Yeah.
we'll still paint Nicole F in a positive light, or sort of in the role of the hero, and Janelle as the villain,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is completely false. I think anybody who's watching the show can see that. If anything, they're both just who they are. It's dude, they're obviously not friends, and that's fine. But yeah, I don't think you can paint Janelle as a villain.
No, not in, especially with the edit alone.
Yeah.
Right? Even if you put in selective clips, it's still gonna be like, I watched enough of Nicole F that I kind of know the cut of her jib. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Who have we not covered tonight? Have we talked about the whole cast? I think we have.
We didn't cover Enzo's nickname that he has for himself, the Shun Dance Kid. I don't know if he's the Shun Dance Kid. Who's Butch Cassidy?
Probably Cody. I think the answer to anything like that to Enzo right now would be Cody.
Cody.
They're Jersey boys. It's unwritten. It's unwritten rules. We should get Dylan in here just to ask him about Jersey rules. Is that a thing? If you and another Jersey guy you've never met were put into a situation together, would you automatically be aligned with one another?
Live from Dylan's prison. It is.
It's you and some random guy from New Jersey. Could be anybody. Yeah. Is this an unwritten rule? I need to know. Enzo says it is.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I doubt
Cody's gonna cut him as quickly as he can.
Seems like, yeah, like Cody is going. If Cody better get rid of certain players, especially like Enzo, sooner than later, because A, he's a competition threat to him, but B, also because Enzo is not going to be too happy once he realizes that Cody cut his throat and lied to him the whole time, and he's a jury member if Cody expects to win.
Enzo knows where the bodies are buried, so eventually you're going to have to get rid of him.
Enzo can't use a bidet because it's European, but he's Italian. That's European.
No, he's Italian American.
American. Hey, my hometown.
I don't know how to use the bidet. It was too hot. It squirted my bottom, and I had to run out. Like, he literally just left the bathroom, right? Didn't even look back, right? And then left Cody to get sit on a wet seat.
Was this on the show or was this on the feeds?
No, this was on the show. They showed like Enzo talking about like the bidet, and then he came out of the bathroom and he walked off, and then Cody went to use it and he sat down and it was wet, and he confronted Enzo about it, and Enzo's like, it was too hot, and it scorched my bottom, and I walked out, Don't worry, it's just a trickle. It's just the water from the spritzer. It's just a spritzer. It's not any pee. Don't worry about it. Right? So, the dude, I would have voted, had him on the block by that alone. It's like not wiping out the seat. That ain't cool, dude. That ain't cool. Got
It's
to get
still water
rid
that
of you.
sprays your butt, right? So
It's a
still
spritzer. It's a spritzer.
there's butt spritzer, there's butt ricochet spritzer going on there, and so I'm sorry. I think you might, these are times
Would
when you
you
can't do
want
that.
any water that touched his undercarriage to go on a toilet seat and you touch that? That could probably kill coronavirus right then and there
Or
with the
maybe
amount
it's
of
different with Jersey guys. It's
yeah,
a Jersey. It's an unwritten rule.
Jersey.
An unwritten rule. You can share the butt sprays
The
and things
water
like that.
spritzer juice from my
Spritzers are
butt. It's
fine.
still good. It's still
Spritzers
good.
between Jersey guys, no
Yeah.
problem. It's fine.
Oh, Lord.
It all's well in the Big Brother house.
Spritzer.
Yes.
So just before nominations, you had Tyler and Kesar. Sorry, Tyler. Yeah, Tyler Kesar. Uh, uh, Tyler and Janelle have their conversations, and you kind of saw that there was no like they did kind of hint at Bay, but uh, it was obvious that Kesar and Janelle were going to be on the block. So said, so done.
Yeah, I
And
think Davon's the obvious renom if
yeah,
one of them comes down.
yeah,
Like they'll throw Davon up because I don't think that Tyler cares if she goes or not. She's not
and
crucial to his game.
even just to set up the conversation of like putting her up and then saying, "Don't worry,
You're my
I'm getting
pawn.
I'm getting a little sketch from you because you asked for the safety suite and you were asking everyone, and it just kind of freaked me out if you were like you're not with me." It's like, no, I'm with you, Tyler. Why'd you say?
Yeah, it's
Like, okay.
totally a Tyler move.
It's like, well, then, okay, don't worry about it. We're going to make sure Kesar or Janelle go home and you'll be safe. You're going to see it's going to be like a unanimous vote with like maybe one vote for Janelle or one vote for Kesar from whoever is taken off the block. So don't worry about it. I just want you to see, that we're good going forward. But you can understand why I felt that way. And she's like, no, don't worry. I understand. It's okay. And then Devon's like, I gotta think about Tyler now. We're supposed to be an alliance, and he's now putting me on the block. Okay, it's on. And then she'll do nothing because she's not gonna win HOH. Bailey's not gonna win HOH, and then someone else is gonna win it, and then it's gonna be forgotten until she's eventually put up again. And Tyler would say, I put you on the block, but I didn't vote you out. So I showed loyalty, but now I hear you talking about me. It's time for you to go. Right. And that's going to be the end of Davon. There you go. I just wrote the
totally
season
right.
for
I
you.
can see this. I'm like, well, you're playing out the next few weeks for me. Every podcast, we're going to be like, well, you already called it on Sunday the 23rd, exactly how this would all go.
Rewind the
Davon,
tape. Rewind the tape.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah,
It's just so.
It sounds completely plausible. Just the kind of player she is, the kind of player that obviously Tyler is, which is incredibly good at this, good at making alliances with the right kind of people that I think he knows he can put information with. I think in the case of Memphis, he just kind of got stuck with Memphis because Memphis was the initiator initially of this alliance, and Tyler kind of was like, yeah, except you didn't bring David along, but whatever. Right. And I think that this will now be the Tyler alliance that Memphis built.
Yeah.
He'll throw Memphis away, probably add in David, or at least David's a number for
David is the perfect person
world
to add in because what's David going to do?
Yeah. The only thing that could go wrong for Tyler is if Cody decides he wants to challenge Tyler. Like, who is the leader of the alliance? Is it Tyler or is it Cody?
Like, if Cody puts up David, right? And
well, then that would break the alliance. I don't think that would happen now.
Yeah, it would have to be someone that like goes against their interests. And as of right now, they're pretty much on the same page. So that's not going to happen right now.
Yeah. And after this week, I think that the only, like, knowing that the two kind of players that Cody and Tyler are, I think that they'll likely be allied for a bit together. Like, they'll stay, because this week because let's say they get rid of Janelle or whoever. They'll, they might say next week it's the other one, right?
Yeah.
Like, that might be what's important next. But after that, I think they'll say, well, we got rid of those evil, those two pariahs. We got rid of them out of the house. Cody and Tyler are likely going to be bonded by this, and their bond will be even stronger. Yeah. But, and so, like, I don't think that Cody's going to accidentally put up David without Tyler knowing about it. which
You you want me to tell you what's going to happen next week? This is not spoilers. This is what I speculate.
it's just
I
speculation. Yeah.
okay. I think that Janelle's going to get voted out, and then Queso will be left, and Christmas is going to win HOH. Chris is going to put up Kesar and Kevin,
Pagonging. It's
right?
pagonging.
And then the Kesar pretty obviously, right? It's going to be obvious. And then when in regards to Kevin, she's going to be like, "Oh, Kevin, we haven't talked or that much game as much as I would hope so. So it was a pretty obvious choice why to vote for you, right?" And Kazar would be strung along, being told that yeah, he's a number for me and Tyler. Don't worry, we got you. It's gonna be Kevin, and then Kazar gets voted out, right? And that's exactly I foresee what's happening. Christmas HOH, um, someone like let's say uh, Memphis wins veto, doesn't use it, and Kazar goes home. There you go.
Yeah,
Skip a week.
but what happens with the alliance though?
Nothing happens to the alliance. The alliance stays the same because what is Kesar going to do? Kesar is not a part of any of the alliance. Bay and Day are not going to protect them or can't really, right? Christmas, she's a part of the commission. She's not part of the Slick Six. She doesn't really have as strong a ties to Kevin. Like they've talked, but it isn't as strong as her relationship with Nicole, Cody, Tyler, or Danny at all.
Mm-hmm.
Danny once
Danny's
again,
this player I keep forgetting about. Yeah, of course, Danny.
Danny has her hand in every single pot, but she's not necessarily on anyone's radar whatsoever. No one is saying her name for nominations.
Yeah,
so
makes
she'll
her a threat to
continue.
win.
Right? She's gonna continue going, um, continue going on. So, like that's why I see Christmas winning, because what if Cody wins? It's like 2 wins. Ugh. If Memphis wins, it's 2 wins, right? Enzo ain't winning anything. David ain't winning anything. Bay and Day aren't winning anything. So once again, I just see Christmas winning it.
Bay won an HOH once in her first season.
Do you know what HOH it was?
Was it a true false one?
I don't know. I'm asking you. I don't know.
No, I can't remember what she won exactly, but she did
Yeah.
win once. I think it was one where she rolled a ball and it like landed in a thing that she got the biggest score. I think that's what it was. But but it didn't go her way because they basically used her HOH to get out what they wanted, right? Like the Tyler alliance. Tyler used her. So like why again? Bay and Davon are so out of it.
I don't see an endurance competition or HOH is going to last long until not this week, but the following week, because it'll go into like Labor Day weekend. So, yeah, I don't see it for this week. My guess, not that I have any like data or any type of information to see if that's right or not, but I don't think this week. I think it's going to be another short HOH, like a. Ooh, bless you. What? Bless you.
Sorry, I got a multi sneeze there. Multi sneeze.
Yeah, I see this pretty cut and dry HOH coming up.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, do we have any spoilers? Do we know who won the veto?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
yes,
so here we're just to warn everybody. Let's go to spoilers here.
Right. Where's the fire emoji?
Okay, well, hold on. I get the fire emoji. Burn, burn, burn. We got the fire.
Yeah, fire. Okay.
Fire.
So we have spoilers. The veto participants. Do you Nicole F's gonna win next?
Jeff just said there was a comment. He said if Nicole F is gonna win HOH next week, just to confirm 2020 is hell on earth. Yes, I think that's right.
I'm in charge now. I'm the comp beast.
Yeah, I'm the new. Yeah.
Janelle has nothing on me. She's never won. Okay, so the participants for the veto. Do you want to guess Who was in it outside of Tyler, Janelle, and Kazar, obviously.
Okay, I'm going to say my guess is that the three others that were picked to play were Cody,
Yes.
Davon,
No.
and Danny.
No. So you got one right, one out of two.
Okay.
You want to try again? We'll give you one more chance. Those two
Who
more
did I get
people.
right?
You got Cody. He was bred
Cody's
for
in it?
this. He's bred for
Okay.
this.
Then he's bred for this, of course. And then I'm going. It's got to be David then, and Ian.
No. The other two people were Memphis and Bailey.
Memphis and Bailey. Okay, so Memphis, Bailey, Cody, the two nominees, which of course are Kaiser and Janelle, and then Tyler's HOH.
Yes.
So of this group, I'm going to say that it's most likely it's either Cody, Tyler, or Memphis.
Do you want to know who won?
I do want to know who won. But am I right that it's one of those three guys?
It is.
Yeah, of course.
It is.
Of course it is.
And who do you think is the winner?
Cody.
You are correct.
Yeah. Cody was probably looking. This is what Cody does when he feels like he has to like show that he's just as good as like the other guys, right? This is what he tends to do. He comes out and wins a comp. And Memphis is a similar kind of a guy. So I think that even Tyler quietly also is they have like sort of this competitive fierceness to them that they think they win this game is about winning competitions. Yeah. Derek won the game basically convincing Cody that was the case. Yeah. So and Beast Mode Cowboy and others, right? So yeah. Okay. So like I'm imagining that the veto is not going to be used.
Yeah, pretty much so. I don't believe the veto competition is the veto ceremony is happening yet. I think it's Monday. It's Monday.
Unless they cook up some kind of a back door for Davon.
Which makes no
why?
Sense.
I don't think it's not. No, they would never do it. So they'll take out the bigger threat. Likely, I think it's Kesar first is who they'll want to take out. Maybe not. We'll see. Janelle, there's just as much of an argument to take out Janelle. It's going to be kind of like a matter of like, well, what is after this week? Is the survivor of this vote just the next obvious target, or do we have other plans on the horizon? What does the house think?
If someone wanted Nicole F to be kept on track, right, then you would keep Janelle. But if they feel like they have everything in hand, vote out Janelle. You don't want her going on any type of win streak, right? She can't win competition, right?
It's worse for Nicole F if Janelle stays.
Yep.
Therefore, bye, Kesar. It was nice knowing you, but you're not helping my cause enough. You were a loyal soldier. You were really trying to fight the fight, and we were with you, but you got to go. It's got to be Janelle because your presence will infuriate her, and hopefully just blow up her game.
She would cry so hard and long if Janelle stays.
Comment here. Janelle will go first. Then Nicole, who sucks, will make sure of it.
Yes.
We'll see.
Yes,
that's going to be the test. Like if there's an anti-Nicole F faction within the majority alliance, it might go the other way because they'll be like, well, why do we want to vote out what's good for Nicole F specifically? I know she's in my alliance, but we don't have to specifically do what's good for her. We should do what's good for the majority of us. That's how like a player like Tyler should at least be thinking about it. But it also could just be politics, and this appeases my alliance is just as good of an argument as well. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, well, that's been an hour. We've covered the episode. Turn that off. Yeah. Okay. And we've covered the nominations episode for Sunday, August 23rd. We will be back here on Super Mader Brothers podcasting on Wednesday night to cover the veto episode. And again on Thursday for the live eviction. It was live when they taped it. And but they'll be evicting the third member of the house, either Case or Janelle, as we've just kind of talked about, this coming Thursday. So check us out there. We also have our other channel, Live Long in Podcast, which is all Star Trek related podcasts. We do Tuesday Deep Space Nine, Wednesday's original series, Thursday Lower Decks. Weekend time frame, we do our Star Trek Radio Theater, which is reenactment. So check all those out. We're going to be doing next Sunday. We're going. This is an exclusive. You're hearing it here first. We are doing which episode? Sorry, which episode are we doing? We're doing Deep Space Nine. Defiant, the episode with Thomas Riker from the third season, where he steals the Defiant and goes on a Maquis raid. So that will be our next episode. So we'll be announcing all the who's playing what soon. Also, Trivial Debates is our third channel, where we do a monthly debate show, which is movies, sports, TV, and other things. The next host will be Kevin Millard, and we're going to be doing that, I believe, early Sunday afternoon. We're still going to work out the time. So we'll be checking that out this coming Sunday, as we'll be doing that. We know Chris Seymour will be back, so I can guarantee that.
Yes. Could this be Chris Seymour's win?
Could be.
You don't want to miss it, folks.
I'll say it here because there's no way Chris will see this part of the podcast or hear it because he doesn't watch Big Brother. Kevin's going to create the questions in a way that they will be tailored, that Chris should be able to win each round just based on his answer. His automatic answer will be maybe the one he can win. Like, who is the greatest bassist of all time? And Chris will try to argue Les Claypool or whatever. So,
but folks, understand that Chris Seymour is a special breed of people, and even though things might be put in his favor, he can still slip on a banana peel. You don't want to miss it, because if he wins, it will be still a joyous occasion that you don't want to miss. But if he loses,
well, the fun part about Chris in that show is that it's a debate show. You're supposed to make an argument. The whole thing is, I will make an argument, you will make a counterpoint. But Chris doesn't argue anything. He just says his answer is the best, and then it's more of a campaign where mine is the best, mine is the best. And then when you tell him, like, no, it's bad because of this, that, and there's other things.
5-4 time, dude.
5-4 time or whatever. Then he goes, whatever. Who cares? That's how Chris debates. So that's why
I'll talk
it's
to
funny.
Chris. I'll try to coach him up.
Yeah, it's quite the spectacle. So give that a listen or a watch on all those channels. And thanks for watching and being with us and commenting. We really appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe to all that stuff I mentioned. And you have a great night.